The first update, 22.10 of Chapter 3 Season 4, just went live despite us having a 12-hour extended downtime for this one. It seems it was worth the wait regardless, considering the amount of content we've not only received in-game or onto our accounts to do with free rewards, collaborations that are projected to be upcoming, but as you can see specifically by the title, despite Fortnite officially announcing when Fortnitemares will be starting, let's just say a ton of content's already been leaked and it looks like this is going to be the biggest Halloween event we've ever seen. We're going to be covering all that intel today, and trust me, you won't want to miss anything, so make sure you're sticking around until the end of the video, as you also just witnessed a mirror get smashed, which means 7 years bad luck if you don't. I wouldn't risk it. However, very quickly before we dive into it all, one favour I ask of you guys, considering it takes 2 seconds and is 100% free to do, is enter my creator code FM1 3 digits inside the Fortnite item shop. You guys already know this not only puts a giant smile on my face, but cheers up my pug Gus too, who's been kinda sad about the fact he knows that 70% of all eyes watching right now are not subscribed. With that said, hit the big red button right now as we're on our final push to 2.5 million or 2.5 million subscribers, and after all, it only benefits you as I do give different subscribers every single day. So if you ever want to receive something, simply make sure you subscribe to the channel with all notifications turned on, and then comment your Epic Games ID down below and let me know what you'd like to receive, so perhaps you could be gifted like this on screen in front of hundreds of thousands of eyes to see in the next video. But with that said, now enough messing around, let's dive into everything Fortnitemares 2022 and everything leaked in 22.10, so make sure of course you don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
I'm sitting on my
Don't
back.
go anywhere.
First of all, today we have Chrome Watch. As you know, the island is slowly being consumed in Chrome, and we've seen several members of the Seven get disintegrated because of this factor. Initially in version 22.10, this is what the map looked like. However, now it's spread out more so, not only from the center point of its origin being Herald's Sanctum to these particular POIs, but with this being the case, despite us obviously speculating through the trailer itself, teasing that it's going to even reach areas such as Greasy Grove with a tornado in the background, that this particular tornado would be moving. As you can see from the footage in the background or logging on today and actually playing, the tornado permanently, as we know now at Herald's Sanctum near the 7 statues, gave birth, well, to another baby one that's going around the island. Of course, the island's response has been obvious since the start of the season to try and, well, elevate everything in the sky, from No Sweat Insurance taking over this responsibility to save the inhabitants of the island, with this being done more so across several areas, structures and locations such as CONEY CROSSROADS, now being Chrome CROSSROADS, as it's a perfect depiction of the entire name location not sadly being able to be saved entirely by No Sweat Insurance, as in the process of it being saved it got caught in the crossroads of the Chrome, ha, no pun intended. And despite No Sweat's interference with the island being consumed by Chrome, although it seems kind of strange that the Chrome can't simply jump up and infect these floating areas. Speaking of floating areas that have now made their way around the island, or specifically air vehicles that are perhaps even saving more inhabitants of the Fortnite island, as you can see, the last remaining blimp on the island has now started to maneuver its way around it. Honestly, who would have thought this would have been a force for good, from referring back to the Collision Live event where they were literally hurled at us in the giant mech. And on top of that, considering the Chrome has infested areas or particular parts of Lazy Lagoon, the air pirate ship thought this was too much of a catastrophe to witness and is making its way around the Fortnite island too. And despite this setting up the theme for more of the map being consumed by darkness, evil, or as we know, the nothing, in preparation for Fortnitemares, something more interesting teased through another map change not to do with Chrome that's going to be added potentially, as data miners have speculated or connected, from the removal or vaulting of Shifty, now replaced with this particular area, as you can see, in its place. Inside the house particularly, despite it obviously having a Stranger Things vibe overall, there is now a random clock prop codenamed Grandfather Clock, which is likely a teaser to the one in Stranger Things, and also a direct reference that yes, Vecna could be upcoming in Fortnite after all this time of us speculating this was going to be the case with the release of Stranger Things Season 4 instead of Fortnite Chapter 3 Season 4. Who knows, with Fortnite already revealing officially on Twitter that Fortnitemares 2022 will be starting October 18th, meaning yes, we're going to be seeing version 22.20 even before then, as we see free rewards every single year to earn within Fortnitemares and a really cool event surrounding it overall. Perhaps with the release of Vecna in the Fortnite item shop, some of the free rewards we can get are surrounding his particular set, such as a pickaxe or back bling, to incentivize us then buying this character from the item shop, as Epic Games do know a lot of the community already want it. Moving on, speaking of free rewards, however, from logging on simply today, and speaking of No Sweat Insurance saving the island, they've saved your Fortnite locker by adding something free to it. As you can see on screen right now, this is the sweat free wrap that literally all players will get, and there are some other rewards that you may have got granted today which we're going to be covering in a second. For those that don't know, the reason this has been granted to us today is because of the unexpected extended downtime that occurred instantaneously last night that Fortnite only then notified us about, that lasted 12 hours. And as you can see, because of this on the left hand side, the text that Fortnite have displayed, Chapter 3 Season 4 launch. Thank you for your patience with issues present during the Chapter 3 Season 4 launch period. As a part of our appreciation, here's the chilled out sweat free wrap. Welcome to paradise. The free rewards or rewards granted onto your account don't just stop there, because if you remember with the Fortnite crew pack pack being revealed, yes, this character right here. You may have noticed upon receiving the skin and the back bling and everything to do with the character itself that we can equip and play as in our locker, on the reward screen itself initially granting us all of this, there were 2 music packs missing that were shown in the image that were set to be granted onto our accounts. Fortnite did briefly mention this, also confirming the release date of version 22.10 over on Twitter. However, if you didn't see that today upon logging on, don't be surprised by the fact, yes, you're receiving these now instead of when you did initially or thought you did when the crew pack released for October. And perhaps if you're somebody who already owned the Velocity skin, which technically isn't a free reward but an extra style for the skin if you want to wear it, with Fortnitemares being just around the corner, this spooky style for it did get implemented, which honestly I think is really cool looking. Speaking of skin styles, however, upon redeeming the rewards that you've been granted today, whether it's just the wrap or all of what I've mentioned, I know the season feels like it's just started, but believe it or not, we're already 20% through its completion, which of course means today upon heading over to the bonus styles section, you can not only see everything that we previously did, such as different styles for the skins, like Gwen Stacy's mask off version, but now if we scroll down to the exterior 3 question mark pages, they are revealed and no longer question marks as these super styles. As of right now on October 4th when I'm recording this video, as you can see, they haven't released yet, but do in a matter of a couple of days. And with me already being level 200, you can already bet, considering this is the highest level you need to be to get all super styles, I'll be rocking Gold Spider-Gwen. In terms of actual gameplay today though, 2 new weapons were added that were honestly really insane. The first one initially being teased in the Cypher PK Icon Series skin trailer, this particular Cobra DMR variant has now replaced every DMR in the game. The mythic variant of this, guys, honestly is so incredibly overpowered, so I can definitely see it either being vaulted for some time to get nerfed or just generally being nerfed in the next upcoming update, perhaps even before Fortnitemares. Despite the fun being over in terms of boogie bombs, well, being used on enemies, as this seems to be more of a problem this season than any other, another fun item that's been introduced now, a weapon that was initially shown in the Chapter 3 Season 4 Battle Pass trailer, is the goo gun. And in case you were getting bored of traversing across the island in the fastest way in the form of, well, goo or chrome, you'll be happy to know today that the grapple gloves have been added back, and not only that, perhaps even Miles Morales is coming soon, or more teasers pointing toward this. As you can see, Hypex stated is that the grapple glove was updated and the Spider-Man mythics receiving, well, similar updates in themselves, so Fortnite will either bring the Spider-Man mythics back at some point, or they just did this to keep it up to date internally. For those that can't remember, prior to the release of this season, with insiders being able to determine already that Spider-Gwen would be in the Battle Pass, and this coming true, around the same time data miners also were able to determine that Miles Morales, because of this, would be rotating in the same season throughout the item shop at some point. With the projected soon release of the Across the Spider-Verse film, although it's been delayed now, as collaborations take months to negotiate, perhaps this means that the initial release date for Across the Spider-Verse is when Miles Morales rotates throughout the item shop, as at this point there's honestly been too many teasers for him not to release, specifically in now Chapter 3 Season 4. Without getting too off track in terms of the loot pool, however, there's been so many things more added today, whether it's upcoming for the next 2 weeks as Hypex stated in this tweet, such as throwable launch pads, but also as you might see around the island that require keys just like the vaults we can open. There are now these random hologram chests which even can involve the exotic rarity despite mainly or predominantly epic or legendary. These might seem quite rare, and how they work is because, well, they only spawn in after the first storm circle, and they're not set to spawn in any particular location every single game, they can just spawn in locations at random. As for other forms of giving us loot that we wouldn't have expected, however, if we actually managed to take on the Herald boss at Herald Sanctum, despite it being annoying with intervals of us battling her wolves that obviously aren't a threat but at the same time consume a lot of our ammo, kinda like the chrome around the island, ha, no pun intended. As you can see, Firemonkey stated today when defeating the Herald's wolves, they can now drop loot which makes them useful, and they can drop bandages, rocket ammo, heavy ammo, medium ammo, shotgun shells and light ammo. I'm not too sure why rocket ammo, considering nothing in the game can currently use them, but hold on to that word currently. Firemonkey furthermore follows up with, in today's update 22.10, Epic Games updated or added files for a mythic version of the Anvil launcher under the codename of Lumpy Rug, a codename that was leaked over 2 years ago. So perhaps in the Fortnitemares update 22.20, before it releases the event itself on October 18th, this may get updated furthermore and then actually added, or perhaps even sooner than then, considering we now have the Horde Rush LTM updated back into Fortnite but on the Chapter 3 Flipside Island, which of course is zero build, and here's a clip today of the new goo gun being used against, well, the boss section being the caretakers that have obviously been reintroduced, which perhaps may even be included across the island like in the end event involving the Cube Queen in Chapter 2 Season 8, but of course on the same side as the Herald, being from the same faction, in this live event that's already determined 100% to be happening to end off Chapter 3 Season 4, going into a 48-hour downtime on December 3rd. And speaking of the Cube Queen and the Herald being both from the last reality, trying to make, well, the nothing come to the Fortnite Island or completely consume it, or it be all that remains of it, with the introduction of of the byte quests in 22.10 today, I haven't actually been doing them, but data miners have already managed to point out from completing them. As you can see from stage 2 of this particular quest surrounding Byte himself, the Nothing is confirmed to be a part of the last reality, meaning both Herald and the Cube Queen are from the last reality. And with us getting more familiarised through these quests of what the Nothing actually is, don't forget people have been speculating since the start of chapter 3 with this glowing orb on the outskirts of the island orb in the very distant water, that this could be, you know, the sphere that the Cube Queen was charging up its energy in before she started, well, the end event involving the pyramid that she also raised. Of course, we already know with the Herald being a boss on the island, she's going to be involved in this season's lore, but how cool would it be as a spin-off if these two, the Cube Queen and the Herald, were sisters, and the Cube Queen did return for Fortnitemares in 2022 as she was introduced for the first time in 2021's Fortnitemares last year, but at the same time integrated into the Fortnite lore despite this coincidence of events reoccurring for a huge team-up live event between the Herald and the Cube Queen this season, trying to make the Nothing spread across the island or be all that remains. Drop a like in the video if you want to see this or enjoy today's video and want to keep referring back to it, and subscribe to the channel with all notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any future videos. Speaking of other videos, right now make sure to interact with the one I've picked out specifically for you on screen. However, most importantly, hopefully I can catch you in the next one I post on the channel.